Hello and welcome to the course. My name is OctoMan from OctoManGames.com, and in this course we are going to learn, or I try to teach, how you can start programming a game. So first of all, let me explain why am I doing this course. Is because a bunch of my students have the problem they are always asking me, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Where do I get the information from? How do I start in person? So what the most people struggling with is they don't understand or they don't know where to start. Why do I start this way? Why don't I do it the other way? They are requesting so much, and they are most of the time, and maybe you are one, like you who are watching this course, maybe you are one of them. Maybe you don't know, when I want to create a game on myself, where do I have to start? How do I know that this is the right or the wrong way? And the simplest answer is there is no right and no wrong. As long as things are working, it is always the right way. But of course, there is place for optimizing stuff like that. That depends on how big your knowledge in case of programming is. But in the first place, it is super important to get and understand how to build something from out of nowhere. You don't have any assets. You don't have any you don't have any, let's say, foundation except the stuff you already have learned. In this course here, we are not going too much over programming. We more go over brainstorming, mind mapping, system creation, and absolute core basics to get an idea where to start. I give you some ideas on the road, and I try to give you as good as possible examples where you have to start, because most of the time it's totally obvious where to start. For example, when you want to create, because you're a beginner, as an example, a beginner programmer in case of game creation, most of the time you're going to have a huge project in mind. You want to have everything on, like, literally on spot. You don't gonna go deeper, you don't dive deeper, you just see the big mountain in front of you and you don't know where to start. And this is what this course should help you out with, and I hope I can help you with that, to get an idea where to start, how to start, why the most of the questions I get, why do I do it this way? Well, it will become obvious. We are going to go through different steps over here. I'm gonna lead you kind of through a, let's say, thought process. Like, how do me in person, how do I do brainstorming? How do I do mind mapping? How do I generate and create systems? What do I do before I think about going the next step? And what is the absolute core of all of that stuff I am going to create? And what is the absolute baseline? What is the smallest thing I'm going to implement? Or where do I need to start? Because I know every element. Once I have planned everything, I know every element I need. Once I know that, it is super simple to start at this particular point. And we are going through that total process. I'm going to show you why that is going, and why this is going to work, and what possibilities we got. Keep away or stay away a bit from the programming side. Of course, it would be nice if you already know something about it. What is a loop? What is a for loop? A while loop? What is a list? What is an array? What is, any kind of collection in general? What are some key features and stuff like that? What is a class? It would be nice if you already know that, because I'm going to use some of these terminology in this course just to get you kind of informed. What are the possibilities? How could I need, or what do I need, what I could use, what could I implement, but it's not the core of this course. It's more like the core, how do I get started? How do I know what I need at the very first place? How do I build a system, like a quest system? What do I need? And this is what we are going to talk about in this actual lessons over here. I hope you enjoy that. And we are going to start at the very, very lowest, let's see, entry point. We are starting with an idea. Like, well, you're gonna see this already on screen. We are going to start, what is the genre, for example, of a game, and we are going to talk about this. I may or may not go and take some notes over here, and we are going to go over and Maybe we're going to take a look at some tools you might need, but actually you just need something where you can write stuff down. In general, the most important one is a pen and a sheet of paper. And if you want to go digital, of course, then use any software you are comfortable with, like any Word program or whatever, or maybe something in G Drive. There's a bunch of possibilities. If you need an Excel sheet, then use that as well. Once again, we are going to go from the absolute core down and we're gonna see what is needed. I'm gonna give an idea for a genre. We are going to literally plan out here. You can go without me every step and you can see if you have maybe a different result in the end. And this is okay, and this is totally fine. This is the part of learning how to start and how to get to the next point and what are possibilities. It doesn't mean actually that something is better than the other. So, because we are not talking about optimizing code or something like that, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to get something starting and running at the first place. But before we can do that, we're gonna have to define some things. So let's get started.